It's time to take a look at some new Minecraft seeds, and I've got some great ones for you today. With everything from an infinitely repeating mineshaft to a beautiful building area, and from an all-biome continent island to the closest working end portal I've ever found. Of course, there's much more too. Let's see if one of them will be the perfect seed for you to use in your next world. This comment asked if we could get more island seeds, and yeah, here's one. I'm also working on an island seed compilation video too. But yeah, this island is pretty cool, it's pretty flat, only going up 3 blocks above the ocean level at most. We get the plains biome and the beach biome. On Java Edition, I got just 1 tree. I got some cows, some turtles, some sugarcane, some decent space for building. It's isolated. It looks cool. Yeah, overall, a pretty decent island seed. Feel free to comment any seeds you'd like me to find for future videos, and maybe I'll find them. I'm always looking for some unique looking Minecraft seeds, and this one is definitely pretty unique. This tall witch hut generates among some pretty crazy looking terrain with a woodland mansion below it. Just as a reminder though, I play on Java Edition. Seeds on Java Edition and Bedrock Edition will have very similar terrain, but things like trees and structure generation and locations are different. So just know you'll see the structures on Java Edition, but not on Bedrock Edition. The terrain here generates like this because of small pieces of windswept forest and windswept savanna biomes. I always like the look of these tall witch huts. The tall log pillars just look interesting. I do feel kind of bad for the witch that's locked in here though. The mansion here also looks pretty cool, with it being partly buried. Inside, on the first floor, I found this room with loot at the end, some terrain on the second floor caused by it being partly buried, plus 2 separate arena rooms. And on the top floor, the rooms were blocked off here for me, plus I also found a hidden room with obsidian and a diamond block. So yeah, just a pretty unique seed here. This Minecraft seed is going to get even better in the next update this fall. Well, that is if you like the new dappled forest biome, I should say. Here in the current version, you'd get a nice plains biome valley that would need some terraforming, but the mountains around create some absolutely incredible scenery. We get a village here, we get a cherry grove here, and 1 single cherry grove tree here, which is gone in the new update as it's now just overtaken by the dappled forest, which of course also takes up so much of what was the plains in the current version. So you could save the seed number for the new update, or use it in the snapshot now, or perhaps maybe you could take this incredible mountain range as is and build a great spawn in that plains with the mountains all around. This seed with a never-ending, infinitely repeating mineshaft is just incredible. The spawn is in this little oceanside plains biome with a forest nearby, looking like some great classic Minecraft terrain. Looking out in the ocean, you can see a mushroom island in the distance. You'll have to be careful around the ocean monument nearby, but once you're out here, the island is actually pretty big. But yeah, what I haven't told you is that the mineshaft is right under spawn. And like the other ones of these I show, it just continues on forever until it reaches the world border and beyond. And this isn't the only one. Every mineshaft in the world is a part of one of these repeating lines of mineshafts. The map is the easiest way to see that with those lines of mineshafts going through it. This all happens because of a glitch in certain seeds that makes cave generation repeat across the world, like you can see here with the lava caves. And yeah, these are always some of my favorite Minecraft seeds to find. This week for my channel members, I created a video giving a list of every single infinitely repeating mineshaft, along with a QBiome session, and some information on how to find some right under spawn. If you'd like to support the channel a bit more while getting some videos about my seed finding process, go ahead and become a member. As always, thanks to all my channel members, and to everyone for all the support you show the channel. I found this pretty cool continent island seed. It's mostly hot or warm biomes across the island, but you can find some moderate biomes like some forest and plains biome too. Otherwise, you'll find lots of jungle biomes, some savanna, and to the south we get some badlands and desert biomes. So if any of those biomes interest you, well, great. Across the island, you can find some different structures to check out, like a jungle temple, desert temple, and village, but my favorite thing is actually underground because we get a stronghold underneath the island. I've given you the coordinates directly to the end portal room. Definitely lots to check out across the island, so give it a try if there was anything you'd like to see. The spawn of this seed has 2 mountain rings right next to each other. You spawn at the jagged peaks here, some of them are pretty tall, and in the middle you can find a meadow and a ruined portal on Java Edition. The two mountain ranges form a pretty cool valley between them with some dripstone craters. We get some frozen peaks for the other ring. They're a bit shorter than the jagged peaks, especially on this side, but in the middle we get a nice cherry grove. Pretty cool having two of these right at spawn. I've been working on finding villages with the most blacksmiths I can. It's kind of like a side project type deal that I do searches for every so often. I've put some restrictions too because multi-blacksmith taiga villages are very common, so I'm more so just looking for other variants and preferably plains villages. This seed has the most blacksmiths or weaponsmiths, I guess they'd officially be called today, in a plain style village that I've found. It's in a meadow biome that goes into a little bowl type thing, and it has 5 blacksmiths in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These two are right next to each other, these two are right next to each other, and this one, it's on its own. And yeah, you get tons of loot when you're done collecting from them. This village also has a church and mason's house too. If 5 blacksmiths wasn't enough, the village down in the plains nearby has another one, and pretty close by spawn, you can also find an abandoned village. But yeah, for now, the search continues, and maybe one day I'll find a plains village with 6 blacksmiths. There is so much potential with the spawn area of this Minecraft seed. We're right between some frozen peaks and a cherry grove when we load into the world. The cherry grove is always a great sight to see, and you've got plenty of cherry trees to get started with. Plus, I like this little floating island here. The mountains form a nice valley for building. You get a plains and meadow, so you get the option for birch and oak wood. And with some terraforming, this could be an incredible place for a spawn city or something. Personally, my first big project would be to reconstruct the mountains and just make them look better. But there's so much potential for some great builds here. In the comments, let me know what you would build here. This is a pretty great Minecraft starter seed. You spawn into the world on the edge of some jagged peaks, and there's some dripstone mixed into the area here, which actually makes this spot on the mountain look pretty cool. My favorite angle of the mountain is here in the plains and meadow, so this would probably be where I made my first base with the mountain as a backdrop. Having more mountains in other directions makes this just a really scenic place for a build. Plus, having a blacksmith nearby is great, but you still have the ever-looming threat of those pillagers looking over you from a nearby mountain range. The expansive forest nearby is great for some materials, and while the mountain doesn't look great from every angle, some terraforming and whatnot could easily fix that issue. But yeah, overall, this is a pretty great starter seed. This is one of the tallest woodland mansions I have ever found. I spawned to the world all the way up at Y level 271. The tallest naturally generated terrain can get is at Y level 256, so the mansion clearly stretches far higher than that. My personal record is one reaching to 272, so this is just one block away from that. The lowest block I could find on this one is at Y64, so it stretches 208 blocks high from bottom to top. I think this one being so hollowed out with the cobblestone foundation is pretty cool too. I imagine some really cool layers or levels that can be built here, making this into a true skyscraper type building. One day I'll find a new tallest mansion, but for now, finding one like this is always still really cool. For every seed compilation video I make, I also create a blog on my website with all of the coordinates to places I show and a button that makes it super easy to copy the seed. After seeing the final 5 seeds in this video, go ahead and check it out with the link in the description or pinned comment. I found this pretty cool double village lake seed here. You spawn into the world in a plains biome near some snowy biomes, but just a short walk east is where you can find this lake. I always like when lakes generate down below the terrain like this, makes it feel like a little crater type lake. And of course, one of the types of seeds I find the most is lake village seeds, so finding this one with 2 villages bordering it is pretty cool. We get this village to the north, which has 3 houses in the water, with the rest up here. And then we have this one to the south, which has most of the buildings in the water, plus has 2 blacksmith buildings, which is great. So yeah, that's a pretty cool looking lake seed. I tried to find one of those mushroom island ring seeds, and this is the best I've found so far. I saw a post like this from Esther Dying, and I thought I'd try to find my own. So it's got an ocean in the middle with the mushroom island surrounding it, but a couple areas just end up like this pretty big expansive spots of mushroom biome, and that's not really a true ring. It's great having a mushroom island close to spawn, and the ocean monument here is pretty cool, but it's just not quite the type of mushroom island ring I was looking for. Maybe I'll continue to look for them, but I'll probably just leave it up to people like Esther Dying to find. kind of makes me respect their ability to find these even more than I already did. The pale garden ring near spawn in this seed is one of my favorites I've ever found. It's more of an oval than a circle, which I would prefer, but that's alright. You get to be up on the ominous pale garden up top and look down at a more thriving, living dark forest. Of course, I really like that we get a woodland mansion on Java Edition. It just looks awesome down here in the middle of the bowl. Plus, seeing pieces of Dripstone Cave inside is awesome, and looking out the windows and seeing Dripstone Cave is really awesome too. Which brings me to my favorite thing about this seed. The pieces of Lush Cave along the cliff sides are great, and they led me to finding this cave opening with both Lush and Dripstone Cave and super easy access to a mineshaft too. I mean, this is just really cool. And all around, this is just a really cool seed. This Minecraft seed has the closest working end portal to spawn that I've ever found, and maybe anyone's ever found. I've currently worked through over 3 million structure seeds, with over 2,200 of them having working end portals, with this portal being the closest to spawn at just over 500 blocks away. The spawn is here in this dark forest near an ocean. If you travel northwest into the birch forest, past this crater, and into this section of dark forest, you can go underground and find the working end portal. It only has 2 actual pieces of portal working, but it's still a working end portal that'll get you on your way to fight the dragon. From my spawn coordinates to the portal room coordinates, it ends up being just 530 blocks. I'm only 3 million structure seeds through the way of 4 billion, which I'll never get all the way through, but maybe one day I'll find one even closer to spawn. This spawn continent island has every single biome on it. Almost. It's just missing one with the wooded badlands, but it does have the other 2 mesa biomes, so close enough, right? The island is actually a pretty small one for having all biomes on it. I measured about 3,000 blocks from north to south, and the same from east to west. Of course, all the different biomes means a lot of different structures too. Like, I spawned in this really beautiful looking area, and right nearby, there is a ruined portal. And underground near spawn is an ancient city. But my favorite underground structure below the island is a stronghold. And my favorite structure in general is this mountainside village. And there's also this island off the main continent with a temple and village that's pretty cool too. Of course, there's tons of more structures that you can explore for yourself. One thing about these types of seeds is that with all the biomes, you'll end up having some small-sized ones. Like the Badlands biomes on this island aren't very big, neither is some random biomes like the Stony Peaks. But still, the opportunity to have an island with all those different biome types is just incredible. For some more Minecraft seeds that I found, check out one of the videos on screen now. Or check out this week's mystery seed that you can see on screen now too. Thanks so much for watching. I'm out of here. See ya.